Back in the day, Ohio used to be home to dozens of distilleries. And then we became the birthplace for temperance and the dreaded Prohibition movement. But now, 80 years later, the art of turning Ohio flavors into spirits is back, baby. The art of distilling has been a journey for friends Greg Lehman and Dave Rigo. The two men have always shared an entrepreneurial spirit, but never knew what would be the right mix for them. Until one day when Greg gave Dave a call.
And he said, you know, what if we tried to make spirits, make high-proof spirits in Columbus, Ohio? What do you think about that? So just kind of like a light bulb went off, and I was like, that's a pretty cool idea, yeah.
That cool idea has turned into one of Ohio's 5 licensed microdistilleries. It's somewhat ironic that a member of Westerville's Lehman family is helping to resurrect distilling in Ohio.
And my great-grandmother, Ruby Lehman, actually took a job with the Anti-Saloon League back when Prohibition, when they were printing all the stuff and really pushing for Prohibition. So she was on that side of it and helped get Prohibition passed in the U.S.
Since the repeal of Prohibition, the art of distilling spirits has been slow to return to Ohio, but Greg and Dave see it as a great way of supporting local businesses.
We get boxes that are made up in Mount Vernon. We get a lot of printed materials from Westerville. We use corn and grains from Ohio in the Midwest.
Through a lot of hard work, Greg and Dave have transformed these local resources into the 4 flavors of the Watershed Distillery. One of the biggest satisfactions for both men is meeting with the people who enjoy their spirits. And one great opportunity is during a behind-the-scenes tour that starts out with a game.
We play Hammerschlagen. It's a game with a hammer and a nail. It's the rite of passage before they come in the back and see the distillery.
And what folks get to see in the back is the detailed process of distilling.
So this is the mash tun. This is the first step in the process. But we cook everything in here basically to create sugar out of the starch, and then we'll cool it back down.
We add the yeast, and what the yeast does, it attacks that sugar, and it creates carbon dioxide and alcohol, the good stuff. And so we take it from here and we pump it into a fermenter once we've added that yeast, and it stays in that fermenter for about a week, and that yeast is able to produce alcohol. And we take the fermentation, the mash, and we pump it right in here. We fire up the still.
Then basically what happens is the alcohol vaporizes, goes up this column, and hits some of these cold water condensers, so it changes back from vapor back to a liquid, and then comes out here.
And from the bottle to the glass, the Watershed spirits are a great beginning to a tasty cocktail.
Tonight we're going to do a little twist on a classic drink we call the Watershed Gin and Juice. Start by putting a little ice and use an 1.5 ounces of the 4-peel gin. Add another 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice. Then add a little bit of rosemary infused simple syrup. Strain over some fresh ice here. And the best part of it, add a little bit of Fresca and garnish it with a little sprig of rosemary. So that's the Watershed Gin and Juice. Second drink of the night is the Columbus Cider. Watershed vodka, 1.5 ounces. Take some pears here. Muddle these up. Add about 1.5 ounces of Ohio apple cider. Strain into our coupe glass here. Garnish it with a cinnamon stick. Ohio apple cider. Cheers. All right, our last drink is the Bourbon Bee's Knees. Start off with 1.5 ounces of Watershed bourbon. Then we use 1 ounce of honey syrup, half of a lemon. Add some ice. Rim it with a little slice of lemon. The Bourbon Bee's Knees.
Any way you look at it, the popularity of small plates is big and only getting bigger. Diners are content to nibble, snack, and graze their way through an entire meal. If you'd like to try your hand at some of the small plates we've seen, check out our website, NBC4i.com. If you've got a favorite place to nosh, let us know. Just send an email to nosh@wcmh.com.